is there a benefit to just sticking to one kind of fats, or anything in moderation works?
Um, for us, we try to stick to more less processed, more uh animal based fats for the most part. And the reason is, uh, you know, at the end of the day, if like for example, there's some news things out there that have been promoted about certain restaurants switching from vegetable oils, frying their French fries to tallow that they're frying their French fries with, and it's supposedly this great thing. I think that will do absolutely nothing to help the obesity and health crisis in America. Switching the fries you're eating from being cooked in, vegetable oils versus tallow. It's going to do little to nothing. It's like tiny percentage of the problem. Uh, do I think overall that the tallow is healthier than the seed oil? I think health wise, yes, I think there's evidence there that it's a little healthier for you. But switching those two on a French fry, you're still eating the French fries, and the amount of effect that difference in fat is going to be minuscule to your health or to obesity in general. Um, you should maybe eat less carbohydrates or less food would do a lot more than that. Uh, so in general, I think, and back to the types of fat, saturated fat is a fuel. It's a great fuel source, I think. Uh, I do think people get a little uh, excessive on it, but you know, I don't think it's a big factor from one oil to another. Like 50% of the obesity problem will go away if we switch the types of fats we're using. But I think there's definitely a small impact on some of those things.
I guess it's
And
a
we've and
similar
we've really
situation. I guess it's a similar situation between corn syrup and sugar.
exactly. And that was I commented on that as well, that I don't think making soda companies switch from high fructose corn syrup to cane sugar is going to do anything whatsoever for health or obesity in America. It's
Right.
it's like the 0.001% factor that's going to do little to nothing. If you're still drinking those sodas filled with cane sugar, you're still going to have the same issues. You're not going to fix anything. Uh,
Right.
is it again? Do I think that cane sugar versus high fructose corn syrup is slightly better? Maybe. It's you really only all you're really talking about is 50% sucrose and 50% fructose in the cane sugar versus 55% fructose and 45% sucrose in the high fructose corn syrup. Is a 5% shift of fructose really going to make any difference? I don't think it's that big deal.
Right. So, final question from me is, in all your experience, like, what are some of the practical difficulties when doing a very low carb diet?
Well, one of the things people uh, feel or complain when they come into this approach is that variety of food, being able to enjoy the things that they're used to enjoying, uh, and that's where my wife comes in. She's a chemist in the kitchen, and she's really good at uh, knowing how to substitute one or two ingredients and create something that has the same texture and flavor profile as the traditional recipe, but just in a lower carb approach. She's got lots of examples of this. Some really interesting recipes, especially like with eggs. Eggs are such a versatile ingredient. She makes everything from bread to pudding to, you name it from eggs. One of the viral recipes that she's had is her hard-boiled egg pudding. And so what she does, the story behind this is our son, Guy, would not eat eggs, no matter how we cooked them, no matter how we tried it. And at the time, we did not have a lot of money, and eggs were one of the cheapest sources of a good protein and vitamins and minerals. And so we're like, we're going to get eggs in this kid somehow. So she takes a blender and she throws a bunch of hard-boiled eggs in it. And she's like, okay, I'm going to put some like coconut milk and some sweetener and some cocoa powder, blends it up, and it made the best chocolate mousse you've ever tasted. It sounds crazy, but you can actually go to our YouTube and watch my wife cook that recipe with Holly Berry. So the actress Holly Berry, we did some cooking demos with her. And before it started, she's like, Maria, I'm not eating pudding made from hard-boiled eggs. And she just couldn't wrap her head around it. But at the end of it, she tried it and she's like, this is like decadent chocolate mousse. It's so good. But she's awesome. But yeah, Maria is just a whiz at turning those recipes. We have tons of books now with any recipe you can think of, just modifying a few ingredients or changing things up, and you get a very similar result that's lower carb. And that I think is one of the big keys, is to keep people on it, is being able to still have those foods they love, just changed a bit with a few ingredients.
Right.
Right. The YouTube channel really has very tempting recipes. I did have a look, Craig.
Thank
It
you.
looks lovely.
Thank you.
And one question, since you mentioned Randall cycle and it promotes more storage of fat in your body. So is there like a proportion of fats and carbs when combined and consumed? Are there any foods which you would like to give us as an example, which are really promoting this Randall cycle effect? Is there a
Yeah.
proportion?